Alrighty, we are back in Studio K with the members of Covalent Blonde. How are you feeling after that performance?
Feeling super good. Yeah.
Good all around?
Good. I think so.
It's a little hot in here, but we're good. We're good. Feels good. It's a little sweaty.
We were sweating.
Yeah, I was hot too. The music was hot, so I was hot. Cool. Can I have you introduce yourself and then have your bandmates introduce themselves as well?
Yeah. I'm Drew. I'm vocalist and I play the bass.
Good afternoon. My name is Tanner Montague, and I am the drummer.
Welcome, Tanner.
Nick Benish. I was playing some bass, some keys, a lot of tambourine.
What up, what up? This is Kevin Gamble, playing keys.
Howdy. This is Alex Graves playing the guitar.
What a group. What a group. This is an all-star group right here. Can I first ask you how this group was assembled?
Wow. TLDR. This group, Covalent Blonde's been a thing since, 5-6 years. But
wow.
It's had multiple iterations. But this recent formation was kind of all the buddies coming back. This guy left, Tanner over here, I'm pointing. He left a while and was actually my original drummer. And then I was reforming, and he was like, I got to be the drummer in your band. And then I made a decision to add a bassist so that I could kind of be a little bit more mobile, so I could not have to always play the bass. And so Nick stepped up on that. And then KG came and subbed. Kevin subbed for us, and he's like, wait, you guys don't have a keyboardist? And I was like, what do you mean, Kevin? Why are you saying that? And he was like, he was in like Flynn. And then Gravy is our most newest addition, and he just fit like a little puzzle piece.
Yeah, incredible. So you said this has been a thing for 5 or 6 years. Did you take a break and then come back to it?
There's been a couple different breaks.
Oh, okay.
3 different bands with awesome, wicked musicians over the years, because I started at McNally and met a bunch of cool cats there and put Covalent Blonde together, its original form. And then, people go off and do their own thing, and then I get new members, and so it's been a thing for a while, but just different forms and shapes along the way.
Sure. Okay. So I've noticed that you don't have anything released right now on streaming platforms.
Yes.
Is that something that will change sometime soon?
It sure should. It's a long time coming. We are actually the furthest we've come along in recording. We've recorded before, but it's kind of one of those things where you record something and you don't really like it, or it's like you don't put it out. And I kind of struggle with like the perfectionism thing. But this iteration, these guys have really come to help me kind of embrace just what comes. And so, yes, the album is hopefully coming out this year. And we're a lot further than I've ever been before. So super excited about that.
How many songs do you have in the vault at this point after 5 or 6 years?
Oh, my gosh. I have so many songs that I've just never played with these guys. Wow. With any iteration. I've been playing kind of the same songs for a while and then, reteach them, and they kind of change shape. But there's a lot of different songs that I have that are a little bit softer, like more acoustic, where I just don't see them fitting in a sort of band shape. But they're convincing me to just take them out of the vault and let's, put them together. So I think that's what not this album coming out, but the one after that will be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're already planning 2 albums ahead.
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about the songs that you played today. So you played 4 songs. You started with Touch Me. I'm curious about, so during that song, you play through it and then it dies down a little bit and then it builds back up. Can you tell me about the process of writing that song and how that kind of build at the end came to be?
Yeah. Well, the way I write is typically I have a riff. It's always riff based, and I just kind of play, maybe it's 2 chords, especially Touch Me, just 2 chords, and then I see how many riffs I can play on it. And it usually ends up being too many riffs, and then I'm overwhelmed. But a lot of times is I can just loop my bass playing to myself and like harmonize. And so that breakdown that comes in the second half of that song was just me messing around with like doubling my bass and harmonizing with myself. And I was like, well, let's make it fat. Let's just go. Let's just break it down. And then, the first half of the song was already written. And then I was like, let's just tag it on at the end, come back in. So it was really natural, really organic.
Cool. That's beautiful. After that, you played Missing You. That one felt kind of like an outlier in the set in terms of the sonic aesthetic of it. Do you want to talk about the process of writing that one?
That's so funny that you say that because my guys call that the country boy song.
Yeah, right. I was going to use that word, but I'm not sure if it.
Yeah, no, it's
how you felt about
definitely
it.
it's definitely a little bit more country. Does anyone want to talk about that song? Does anyone love? Wait, who said that was their favorite song? Nick, you go.
I love that song. It's great writing. The lyrics are great. The vibes are great. It's really fun to play, and it's really fun for us as musicians who do a lot of different things to play a lot of different ways and to kind of dial it back and just play a little groovy little shuffle thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, Drew, you've mentioned a lot how you like to listen to all kinds of music, and you'll like a song from this album from the 60s, and you like one song from this album from 1979 from this artist, and you like this one song. And so I think a lot of your songs that you write are like that. Like you like one vibe, and so you make a whole song about it, and then tomorrow you have a different vibe and you write a whole song about it. So that's where the country song comes from, is like she wanted to.
Right. Yeah,
make a
that's
country
great.
song.
That's great.
Yeah, that's really well put. I know I might get slack for this, but I've always been a song listener. Maybe it came from when I owned a Zune and I couldn't download the whole album. I just had the one.
Oh.
And it was like 2 gigabytes of space back then, so you couldn't download all the songs you wanted. So I became a big song listener, and so yeah, then I just listened to a lot of different genres because of that. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Great. Will you follow that up with Mile High? Do you have anything to say about that tune?
Mile High it's a cover that Tanner brought to us.
Oh, cool.
I don't know how you found it. You go.
Probably just on my what do you call it, For You page on Spotify or maybe Instagram. It's just a groove. It might have gone viral with TikTok.
Okay.
But Drew and I pretty much met because we both love the groove.
Really? Wow,
Just in general.
That was just a bonding.
It was just
Moment
we're
for
always
you.
grooving. I think we might have been in a McNally band before we started this band.
Yeah.
In between classes, there was always listening and singing and playing along. And these guys know, like probably like once every 2 weeks, I send a song that I like to the group chat, and no one responds, which is totally fine. I just put it there for safekeeping, and then maybe we can look back
Safekeeping.
at it.
Yeah. But this time they did respond?
This time they
you-
did.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And we're thankful for that.
I'm curious, how many of you are McNally grads?
I think it's just Tanner and I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be all McNally cats in Covalent Blonde, and then when it closed, everyone scattered.
Right.
And then Tanner scattered too, but then came back. So
And were you there when it closed? Or was...
Tanner got out. He graduated.
Okay.
I was there for 2 years when it shut down.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
but we restart.
Yes. I'm sorry about that. That must have been a tough time. Cool. All right. We ended things off with Up in the Air. And you said before you played it that's one of your favorite songs to play. Why is that one of your favorites?
I think that song was a really big breakthrough for me songwriting wise, because it was I was in songwriting class, one of the first songwriting classes that I was signed up for, and the professor was like talking about chords, and he played that G major 9 and G minor 9 back to back, and I was like, oh, that was really saucy. And so I left class like after it was done. I didn't skip, but I went into a practice room and I just played those 2 chords back to back, and then I was learning the bass at the time, and I put in a new bass line that I had liked, and it just was so natural the way that it came, and immediately the feeling of being up in the air and just like never coming down, and then so the idea of just where that song never really goes, it's sort of always just up and it floats, and even if it comes back down, it's like a balloon or something that gets hit, and so the idea is that it's just sort of riff writing, of course, but it's just so ethereal and in space, and it really represented a time in my life when I felt really up in the air as well.
Wow. That's very cool. That's awesome that the message was inspired by the chords and what they made you feel. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
go to school, kids.
Yeah, right.
You'll write a song. Maybe. Yeah, it won't close, hopefully.
Yeah, totally. Is that like a typical process of yours in terms of writing music? And what does that usually look like for you, songwriting?
It'll usually start with chords that I like, and sort of probably inspired by something that I'm listening to at the time, like Nick was saying. There was a time like of 6 months where I was just like all Led Zeppelin, listening to it all the time, and then I was like, I'm gonna write a Led Zeppelin song, or just like inspired by that vibe. So it always starts with chords, and then the way I write lyrics is I just do sounds. There's something that just like I'll be like, I'm up in the air now,
Okay.
and then
Just get the syllables out.
Get the syllables out. Get
yeah.
the sort of vowel sounds that I really like. And then from that is inspired, sort of makes the story of the song. Like Missing You, I was just missing you, and then I was like, okay, well, I'll write a love song about, missing someone. So it really directs the mood and the theme of the song too.
Yeah, totally. Very cool. Awesome. Well, I was going to ask what your favorite song you've ever written is, but would you say it's Up in the Air?
It's definitely one of my favorite songs. There's another song that we do play. It's like slower. I think it's one of these guys' favorite songs too. It's called You. And it's a little bit more, there's like more chords and it's softer. But of course we funkified it. So there's like kind of two variations of the song. And I think it was during a time when I was learning a lot of chords and how to, not just play G and C and all that stuff, and where chords can take you, and sort of surprising chords that really tell the story of, like where to go for the pre-chorus and how that takes you into the chorus. Right. So I won't be on this upcoming album, but that one is probably my favorite song that I've ever written. Cool, and didn't play it today, but
yeah, and that'll be album 2.
Yes.
Then? Okay, cool. Another quality about your songwriting specifically that I noticed today, and I already mentioned this, but like just the space that you allow in certain moments. Can you talk about like the importance of allowing space in your music for like improvisation and just for like to sit on the groove just for a little bit, what that does to the song?
Yeah, I love songs that let me as a listener breathe. I also love songs that, are in your face and punch you as you're listening to it. But there's something about live music too, when I'm playing live, where I do like to have these guys improv and play their hearts, because I think that makes a live performance really interesting. And they're so talented, so I'm always like, well, I gotta let them do it, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta let them. But in terms of the songwriting, I think I'm really specific. I wrote these riffs, I'm proud of them, and I want them to sing. And I want people to hear those riffs and what I layer on top of it. And I think that just invites that space that you're talking about, where I want you guys to hear it and listen to it.
Right. Totally. Great. All right. I just have a couple more questions for you now. What are your like immediate and then long-term goals for Covalent Blonde as a group?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Can I hand this off to someone else? Anyone?
Sure. We've never talked about this before, but I think we all want to keep the band going. So I would say get this dang album out. Get that done, play some shows, and then hopefully play out of the state. Start trying to grow it. Yeah. Little tours, getting creative, getting weird. Hold on, I'm still talking. I had nothing else to say. Sorry. That's all, yeah.
I thought I was saving you. But yeah, I think these guys are really inspirational to me to keep going. I have a really tumultuous relationship with music, and I've always loved it. It's always been a part of my life, but it just as it is beautiful, it can be a lot. It can take a lot out of you, and so it's come and gone from my life, and now it's here, and it's here in a big way. And so I'm again like from these guys pushing me to get this music out, because it needs to be out there. And I'm so happy that this is the crew that's going to be on this album and that are going to be playing with me going forward.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. So speaking of shows, let us know about some shows that you have coming up.
Yes, the most recent show we have is March 24th at the Green Room with
that's a-
Murphy Smith.
Awesome.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's a great venue too.
Yeah.
I'm a big
I
fan
love
of
a
the
good
green room.
green room fan. I'm a big green room fan.
Yes. And then in terms of releases, you said hopefully by the end of the year you're gonna get this album out.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. I'll be expecting it.
Yay!
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Last question for you. And this is one I ask all the groups that come in. I want you to build a dream bill for yourself. Tanner, you'll be good at this. You get every member of the group gets to add one band to this bill, and it can be dead or alive, any kind of performer. And then Covalent Blonde will be on this bill as well.
Okay.
So
there
it's
can be
more
like-
of a festival, I guess.
There can be like 18. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but one from each of you.
One
One
okay.
group and or artist from each of you.
Okay. Ooh, Tanny, you want to? Yeah.
I'll just start off. I would love to be on a bill with the John Mayer Trio. Steve Jordan, Pino Palladino.
Oh yeah, very nice. Great pick.
That's a good choice. I knew you were gonna ask this question, so I prepared because I was here with Goons the last time. But I had 4 picked out.
You gotta
So
pick one.
I'm gonna pick one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, or you could speak for the rest of your group. If you want.
I've always been a really big fan of Tame Impala. I love the way that Kevin writes. So I'm gonna add a little alt pop rock to our set list.
That's great.
I would add Domi and JD Beck.
Whoa, the young cats.
All right, this person doesn't really perform like that. I wish he performed more because I really want to see him live. D'Angelo.
Ooh. Oh my God! What? This is crazy.
I would pick the Beths.
Nice.
Which is just a little bit of overlap with our sound.
Yeah.
So from the same neck of the woods as Kevin Harper, so
Totally.
that would work for me. They're one of my favorite groups ever.
Wow. What a lineup! This is, I think, one of my favorites. that I've
Hey.
heard. Yeah.
Yeah, what a crew.
Totally. And then who's headlining though?
Covalent Blonde.
There you go.
Covalent Blizzle.
There you go. That's the right answer. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Drew, and the rest of the crew. Any last words you have for our Radio K listeners?
Thanks for listening. We really had a lot of fun, and thanks Eli for having us, and thank you Radio K. Oh, and Tanner too. Here he is.
Thank you, Radio K. Just support local live music. You know, go out to shows. We love that as musicians.
Yes.
Thank you.
Amen to that. We love that as Radio K as well. All right. We're going to kick it back to the booth for some more local music until 5 p.m. Please stick around for it. This is Radio K, Real College Radio.